And we're live! Welcome back to part 59 of Marston Mondays, where we free roam with John in Epilogue 2. I do love this fast travel windmill. Very relaxing to me, and a little hypnotic. I'm your friendly neighbor, Superantonio, and please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you would enjoy seeing more of my Red Dead Redemption 2 content. We find ourselves back in Armadillo. John is dressed as the bloody pirate of Saint Denis. However, I don't think the good citizens of Armadillo are celebrating Halloween this year. That's disappointing. What about this fella? Good morning, sir. Routine health and safety inspection. Also, happy Halloween.
Don't go nowhere. Stay here, girl. Good morning.
You take that outfit off a corpse or something?
You're very judgmental.
You might want to give me some room. I ain't well.
Two things. One, that is a magnificent mustache, and two, look at these circles under his eyes. Let's move on.
What is your goddamn problem? Good. I don't have any.
Been through it, ain't we?
We set up camp, sleep till evening, and make our way to Fort Mercer. John is eager to show off his Halloween costume. There they are. Those lobos look bored. Fortunately, the bloody pirate of Saint Denis is here to add some excitement to the evening. No use knocking at the front door, however, it is very well defended. Best to approach Fort Mercer from the rear. Also, a rear approach takes the Gatling guns out of play. You didn't know they have Gatling guns? At Fort Mercer, they have Gatling guns. We shall leave Rachel behind this tree, well away from the action. She'll be fine. And we better tonic up. The first of many, I'm sure. Good evening, gentlemen. Routine fort inspection. Also, trick or treat. Trick or treat is said to have roots in the medieval practice of mumming, to quote Wikipedia, which is closely related to souling. John Pym wrote that many of the feast days associated with the presentation of mumming plays were celebrated by the Christian Church. These feast days included All Hallows' Eve, Christmas, Twelfth Night, and Shrove Tuesday. Mumming practice in Germany, Scandinavia, and other parts of Europe involved masked persons in fancy dress who, quote, paraded the streets and entered houses to dance or play dice in silence. In England, from the medieval period up until the 1930s, people practiced the Christian custom of souling on Halloween, which involved groups of soulers, both Protestant and Catholic, going from parish to parish, begging the rich for soul cakes, in exchange for prayers for the souls of the givers and their friends. In the Philippines, the practice of souling is called Pangangaluwa and is practiced on All Hallows Eve among children in rural areas. Children drape themselves in white sheets to represent souls and then visit houses where they sing in return for prayers and sweets. In Scotland and Ireland, guising, children disguised in costume going from door to door for food or coins, is a traditional Halloween custom. It is recorded in Scotland at Halloween in 1895, where masqueraders in disguise carrying lanterns made out of scooped-out turnips visited homes to be rewarded with cakes, fruit, and money. In Ireland, the most popular phrase for kids to shout was, "Help the Halloween party." The practice of guising at Halloween in North America is first recorded in 1911, where a newspaper in Kingston, Ontario, Canada, reported children going guising around the neighborhood. American historian and author Ruth Edna Kelly of Massachusetts wrote the first book-length history of Halloween in the U.S., the Book of Halloween, 1919, and references souling in the chapter Halloween in America. In her book, Kelly touches on customs that arrived from across the Atlantic. Quote, "Americans have fostered them and are making this an occasion something like what it must have been in the best days overseas. All Halloween customs in the United States are borrowed directly or adapted from those of other countries." Last one. Look at all of the free weapons that we don't need. What did they leave for John? Have you noticed all of the belt buckles? Lots of belt buckles in Fort Mercer. There's cash on this table. Don't forget to collect that. Can you imagine the logistics of robbing the still warm corpse of a man you just killed? Unbuckling his belt to grab his fancy belt buckle. So much easier to just press triangle and move on. And there's flan over here. The lobos were celebrating Halloween with this popular Spanish dessert. If you don't know what flan is, it's pretty much creme brulee, except without the brulee. And there's a bowl of something over here. John needs to shoot it. Might be a bowl of cereal. It is a Red Dead mystery. And don't forget the broken cutlass, Marston, essential for the bloody pirate of Saint Denis. Another belt buckle. A watch I can understand. Going through pockets, holding a dead hand to pull off a ring, maybe it's stuck on the finger. It's best not to dwell on it. And here is the aforementioned Gatling gun. An excellent rate of fire with infinite ammo. And what happened to our horse? There's Rachel. And that's Fort Mercer, one and done. Let's circle around to the front for the thumbnail and the Instagram. Link in the description if you'd like to follow, in addition to links for the merch store, my second channel, which features more podcast-related content, and our Discord.
Hey, easy.
This will work. Moving on. Moving on to Moonstone Pond. And what do we have here? There's Biscuit's mom, 8 years later. And there's Biscuit. I can absolutely guarantee that Arthur collected a live Biscuit from this location in this playthrough. And this is the current version of the game. I hate updating, so I always remember. Nice to see both of them back. Pretty sure that exploit is patched, however. And here is the free hewing hatchet. As long as we are here, we should check on the flattened cabin. Climb up this log. There was a recipe in this loot box, collected long ago. Some random supplies, of course. However, this large jewelry bag will respawn every time you climb up here. Easy enough to climb out of here. Biscuit's mom will be fine. She has a great attitude and is perfectly content pacing this trail, waiting for John to take her home. Especially after Arthur already gave her a ride home way back when. Also, no worries, that Biscuit is only sleeping. And where's Rachel? There's Rachel.
Come on. That's my lady.
Well done, Marston. We shall avoid the trail and Biscuit's mom. It's easy enough for John to purchase a silver dapple pinto Missouri foxtrotter from Blackwater. However, if Biscuit spawns dead, she might spawn alive. I have to believe that, no matter how often the devs patch it. I'm stubborn that way. Let's move on. Now we ride north of Annisburg. We shall take the train tracks. Watch out for the cougar, Marston.
Well done.
I thought we might talk a little about horror movies as we ride to our next destination, as a genre and especially my favorite horror movies. I do like the Universal classics, of course, the big three, Karloff, Lugosi, and Lon Chaney, with honorable mention to Ben Chapman and Riku Browning as the Gilman, or the creature from the Black Lagoon, and Guillermo del Toro's elegant 2017 reinterpretation, The Shape of Water. And I enjoy the 80s big three, Freddy, Jason, and Michael. John Carpenter is one of my favorite directors of all time, speaking of Michael Myers. The others off the top of my head being Alfred Hitchcock, Quentin Tarantino, and Wes Anderson. I especially love retro gothic supernatural moody horror movies, like old school Hammer movies with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing, or again, modern reinterpretations like Guillermo del Toro's 2015 Crimson Peak. I suppose we should put Guillermo del Toro on that favorite director list.
Oh, partner!
For zombies, George A. Romero, of course. The Walking Dead, not so much. Loved the first couple seasons. I hung on pretty much until they killed Glenn, and then I checked out and never looked back. Great makeup and special effects in The Walking Dead, however. Shout out to Greg Nicotero, and of course his mentor, Tom Savini. If you are a horror nerd, you will know those names, and if you are not, don't worry about it. Pardon John a moment as he takes care of these wolves.
You ain't like this.
So inconvenient. Where were we? and the map. We need to go right about here. And John needs to check out that camp. Good evening, sir. Routine. And there's nobody here. Looks like this hunter also had a wolf problem. Here's another wolf. And more random supplies that we do not need. This actually turned out to be a camp that we inspected routinely. I guess there's a first for everything. Moving on. One of my favorite authors is Stephen King. However, I do think it's very challenging to adapt his books for the big screen or even the small screen. There's no way to visually depict the levels of introspection and self-reflection he's able to bring to his characters, which to me is just as interesting as the plot. My favorite novel has to be Salem's Lot, and my favorite movie adaptation would have to be Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, another favorite director of mine, and ironically, Stephen King's least favorite adaptation of his books. You can't please everyone. John wants to play with these wild horses.
Now where are you off to? Now what?
That American paint looks interesting. He is a Tobiano, but he looks like an Overo. And we make our way to the witch's cauldron.
Relax.
And we are technically here for another video. John needs to film some B-roll for the viewer Halloween show. I hope you enjoyed watching this commentary as much as I enjoyed making it. It's lonely up here. Luckily, John has that raven for company. And of course, Rachel. We can never forget about Rachel. Don't tell Abigail. On Mondays, we Marston. I'll see you in part 60. This video is sponsored by Superantonio Part 2. My second channel that features more podcast-related content, in addition to gameplay from all of the other video games I enjoy. You can find the link at the bottom of the channel page or in the description of this video. Like and subscribe for short stories, book, movie, and TV reviews, and also commentaries where I talk about whatever is interesting me at the moment. I'm Superantonio. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your views. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for daily Red Dead Redemption 2 content, and we shall meet again. Further on down the trail.
All right! Hot down, Marston!